Hi everyone, this video is intended to be a guide in using the equation editor in Microsoft Word. So once you've downloaded the acceptable document, acceptable.docx, it should look something like this. You'll notice that on the first page there is a few instructions or details about simplifying expressions versus solving an equation. Once you look through the acceptable document, you'll see that it has a number of pages with a number of equations. You should be able to click on these equations and you'll notice that the equation editor tool comes up here, and you should also then be able to copy and paste these equations into a new document. So let's say that you're working on something like this, an expression in which you're going to FOIL the product of two polynomial expressions. There's a few ways you can do this. I'm going to open a new Word document by pressing Ctrl N. This is a new document. So I can flip back to the acceptable document, and then I can copy and paste this by selecting it all and then pasting it into this new document like that. From here I can now go in and I can edit these numbers as I see fit to suit the problem that I'm doing. So for example, if this was just x plus 5 times x plus 3, well then this 2 is no longer here and this 2 is no longer here either. The rest of that top line's okay. And then this next line changes as well, doesn't it? Because this 2 is no longer here, and we'll get 3x plus 5x, which will be 8x, and that 15 is still the same. You'll notice that these two lines of equations, they've no longer got the equal symbols lined up. So to fix that, we can select them all, right-click, and then align at equals. If you prefer a slightly more organic way of typing in these equations, let's go to a new page here, or a bit further down this one. One of the ways that you can do this is to go to Insert and then Equation up here, and you get a whole slew of options up here. My personal favourite way of doing this though is to press Alt equals like this, and that brings up the equation editor like this. You'll notice up at the top you have all of these different options that you can play with. In Math65 you'll typically only be concerned with, I suppose, fraction and script and radical perhaps. So let's say that again we're going to find the product of two polynomial expressions. Perhaps we'll do x plus 4 times by x minus 5. So that would be equal to x squared. So that's the first expression. You'll notice that I've used Shift 6 to do the exponent. Hasn't come up as an exponent yet though, so if you press the space bar that will work. So first and then outside would be 5, so minus 5 times x. Inside would be plus 4 times x, and last would be 20. I'm going to press return, get a new line, and now I'm going to press Alt equals again and simplify this expression. So equals x squared minus x minus 20. And that's correct, although it would be really nice if we had the equal symbols lined up. So we'll select all of the equations and click Align at Equals. So this has been intended just to be a short introduction to using the equation editor. I highly recommend that as you progress through the problems in the acceptable document, you just copy and paste these at first just to get familiar with it. Thank you so much for your time.